So I've made it no secret that I'm a huge Jyrus shipper, and so I decided I'd put together my top 10 cutest Jyrus moments from what we have so far, that being Season 1 and the Season 2 sneak peek. Now, I do have to warn you guys, the only footage I actually have is from the Season 2 sneak peek, because all my other Andy Mac footage is on my DVR, and because I'm an idiot, I have no idea how to transfer that to my computer, or if there's even a way to do that in the first place. So the only times I'm actually going to be playing footage from Andy Mac is when I reference that, but don't worry, that makes up a couple different points on this list, so you're not going to be completely without footage, but the rest of it I am just going to be explaining. So, let's get started. Number 10. Alright, this would be a lot higher on the list if this was biggest Jyrus moments, or heck, even biggest Andy Mac moments. But because this is cutest, this moment isn't technically cute as it is revelatory, but I would be remiss if I didn't include it anyways. So, number 10 is Cyrus looking back. If you have no idea what this means, then you need to go watch Andy Mac, and specifically the season finale, Best Surprise Ever. Now, if you have watched it and just didn't know what it meant, or you just haven't watched the show, you don't really care, but you're still listening to this video anyways, then let me explain. Basically, Amber and Jonah are having a conversation in which Amber says, if she, in reference to Andy, looks back, it means that she likes you. Less than a minute later, Cyrus ends up looking back. Now, some people argue that this moment doesn't really mean that much, that he was just turning back to look at what Andy looked back at, because yeah, a couple seconds earlier, Andy had turned back. But you just have to look at the way it's shot. Not only does it happen less than a minute after Amber calls it a more than a friend act, but the music swells and intensifies. Everything is slowed down. There's so much build up to this moment, and it lingers for seconds, and then it fades away to the next scene. It's meant to be treated like a big reveal, and that's even before you take into account the cast reacting to it, and this tweet that was retweeted by both Disney and Joshua Rush, the guy who plays Cyrus, and was shared on the Instagram of Terry Minsky, the producer of this show. So yes, this is a big Jyrus moment, and I absolutely had to include it. Number 9, Wont Wave. Now, even if you've seen the show and know most of the Jyrus moments, you probably don't know exactly what I'm talking about here, and this is one of those moments that I think is highly underrated because I think it's really telling and also really adorable. In the episode She Said, when Andy's talking to her friends and asking if she should confront Jonah about seeing Amber flirting with another guy, she's worried that Jonah will hate her if she says something, and Buffy reassures her that he won't, and Cyrus adds, but he probably won't smile and wave at you when he sees you. And the fact that this is what he cares about, this is what he mentions specifically, means that he notices it enough for him to really care about it. This moment says a lot about the fact that he looks forward to Jonah smiling and waving at him every day, and I think that's more telling than a lot of things on this show. Not Cyrus looking back, obviously, but it's definitely telling, which is why I'm always really shocked that it's never really brought up much. And, of course, this is retorted with Buffy being kind of sarcastic, but it's still a cute moment nonetheless. Number 8.
Guys, shh, Jonah's speaking.
Shh, Jonah's speaking. So, this one... just the way he says it, and the way it happens. The way he's basically saying, I care about what Jonah says. And the fact he didn't know he was winning this award, he thought Andy was going to win it. He didn't really know what it was about, but all that mattered was Jonah was talking and he wanted to hear Jonah speak. And that's really cute. That's really adorable. By the way, don't play a drinking game every time I say the words cute or adorable because you will die, because I'm going to be saying them a lot more in this video. Number 7, disappointed look. There's actually quite a few times that you could include in this, because there's multiple times where Cyrus looks really upset or jealous when Jonah mentions hanging out with somebody else, or the fact he can't hang out with Cyrus, but I'm specifically talking about this one.
Actually, I was hoping I could talk to Andy. Alone?
Just... the thing is, you would assume they would cut to Andy's reaction to Jonah asking if he can talk to her alone. But they don't. They cut to Cyrus's reaction. Cyrus's jealous and upset reaction. And just tell tell me this grunt is not the cutest thing you've ever heard in your life. Come on. As Buffy's literally dragging him away from the couple. Just, this is one of those moments that people have a really hard time fighting for the fact that, oh, it's just because Jonah's popular that he's acting like this. Because that was originally the argument, and still people tended to make it, but that argument has come up less and less, and this is one of those moments you can't really defend like that. You wouldn't act like that if you just thought Jonah was popular. Just saying. Number 6, the cheer. Now, you've probably noticed that all these moments are really Cyrus heavy. It's been Cyrus who has been talking about Jonah or reacting to Jonah, etc., and not really much Jonah reacting to Cyrus. Now, I do have to admit there isn't a lot of evidence that Jonah likes Cyrus, so I'm not going to say that he definitely does. Cough, 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 cough. Excuse me. But anyways, what were we talking about? Oh yes, Jyrus. But this is one of those moments that's purely Jonah, and that would show that their relationship actually wouldn't be lopsided if Jonah were to start having feelings for Cyrus. Because Jonah, in the episode ends up leading a cheer for Cyrus after everything Cyrus has been doing for their team. And it shows a real appreciation for what Cyrus is doing. In a job that would typically be fairly thankless, Jonah makes sure that he knows that he's really, really important to the team, and including the fact that then later he gets the MVP award for this shows that Jonah really does notice and appreciate the things that Cyrus does for him and his team, and shows that their relationship would be a lot more balanced than most things in this show. Number 5, I liked when. Again, this is from Best Surprise Ever, the season finale. This happens in the diner during the beginning of the show. Basically, Jonah keeps looking back at Andy, and at one point Cyrus looks and sees him looking back. So he waves and smiles, and Jonah gives a very sincere smile and wave back. This prompts a conversation between Andy and Cyrus, where Cyrus kind of tries to defend Jonah a little bit, but is shut down when Andy asks, "Whose side are you on?" And Cyrus says, "Yours." I just liked when we liked Jonah. And he says it like that. He says it all heartbroken, and he looks down, and he's really quiet, and you can tell that he just really wants to spend time with Jonah. But you can also tell that he respects his friendship with Andy too much to hurt her, which is why I have a feeling Cyrus isn't going to be going for Jonah anytime soon. He cares about his friendship with Andy, and he cares about being loyal, so if Andy doesn't want him hanging out with Jonah, well, he's not hanging out with Jonah. Granted, that may change in season 2 when he realizes, I can't keep hiding this, and I can't keep doing things just for her. Sometimes you have to be a little bit selfish, but it does show where his heart lies and where his loyalty lies. He doesn't want to hurt his friend. He's a sweetheart, and that's one of the things I do love about his character. Number 4, the voice crack. Okay, this is one of the first signs that something's going on here. In the episode Outside the Box, which happens to be episode 2, the first time you see Cyrus and Jonah actually interact is when Jonah comes up and says, "Hi, friends of Andy," and Cyrus says Jonah's name, and his voice just cracks, and it's adorable. The thing is, Joshua Rush is already naturally adorable. If you watch him in interviews and things like that, he's just naturally really cute, and so the fact of the matter is, I can't imagine anyone else playing Cyrus and giving this level of adorableness into every performance. And it's just a really, I can't stop smiling when I think about this moment, and it definitely signifies something's going on, and of course as the series goes on, that just gets more and more defined. Number 3, the double hang. Now, I'm pretty much including most of episode 5 in here, because It's Not About You was an episode where people started going, wait a second, is Disney really doing this? Because before there were just little hints and little things that kind of hinted towards that, if you exclude the rumors that were going on before the show happened. But episode 5 was when people went, okay, I think Disney might be doing this. Because, first of all, this look. I mean, it's not a lot, but the fact that Jonah is looking at Cyrus the same way Andy's looking at Jonah signifies there might be something there. And just the fact is, let me tell you something. If somebody introduced me to someone else by saying, hey, this person thinks you're cute, I'd remember their name less than 24 hours after we talked. Just saying. Just saying. Cyrus doesn't. You especially think you'd remember her name because it's Iris. It rhymes. It shouldn't be hard to remember this name. But he forgets it anyways, which signifies he didn't really care about meeting this girl. And the fact is, when Jonah tells him that Iris likes him, Cyrus's response is, please convey to Iris that I enjoyed meeting her too. This isn't how you talk about someone you're interested in, and it's just more and more proof that he doesn't care about Iris, and the only reason he agrees to go on the double date that Jonah then proposes is because of Jonah. Fun fact, he never mentions Iris to anybody once in this entire episode. He calls it a double hang with Jonah every time he mentions it. He's trying to figure out what to wear for his double hang with Jonah, down to the sock. He got new shoes for his double hang with Jonah. He asked Andy for advice for his double hang with Jonah, and that's really telling, because you would think he would say a double date with Iris, but no. Seems like he doesn't even remember that she's going on this thing. And afterwards, when the Pew Shoe incident happens, which, by the way, kudos to Disney for not making a huge joke out of the whole situation and actually playing it fairly seriously and making us genuinely concerned about Cyrus. But anyways, after that whole thing happens, he doesn't care what Iris thinks. He cares what Jonah thinks, and that is definitely a tell. Number 2, the pictures. So if episode 5 was people going, kind of looking at it sideways, like, maybe. Episode 10 was people saying, okay, now they're just teasing us. They're doing this. Oh, wow. And then, of course, episode 12 is people going, they are doing this. Yes, they are doing this. But yes, episode 10, up until then, was the most definitive proof that this was happening. Basically, for one, Cyrus says the line, it's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all, or whatever I was feeling towards her, in reference to Iris, proving, again, that he has no feelings for this girl. And when he realizes that they weren't actually breaking up, which is why he had said that line earlier, he just kind of cares about not hurting her feelings, because, like I said earlier, he's just a sweetheart. And so, after Jonah and him go on a solo sports outing, he is showing the pictures to Buffy and obsessing over them. And it's so adorable, because it's another one of those moments that people have a hard time playing off as being just because Jonah's popular and Cyrus isn't. You don't act like this with someone who's just popular. And, of course, you can add on the whole jacket conversation that happens after this, as well as you can throw that into the disappointed look category, because he does look really upset when Jonah isn't wearing his jacket, when he calls it kind of dorky, and when he can't hang out with Cyrus because he's hanging out with Amber. And this is one of those moments that makes me feel like Buffy's gonna be one of the first people to figure it out, because I don't know how she hasn't already. Like, do you see how upset he looks? Buffy, you were standing 2 feet away. Like, you have to be making some connection here, Buffy. You just have to be. And number 1. If you don't know what this is, you haven't watched the season 2 sneak peek, because number 1 is the Jyrus Hug. Wow. Everything about this hug was just perfect. The fact that it was so unexpected for Cyrus, the fact that he gets so emotional, the fact that this jersey clearly means a lot to him, and that Jonah clearly means a lot to him. The way they say thank you to each other, the way the music is playing, again, the music says a lot in this show. And just how they hug. It's not a bro hug like one that they had in episode 8. There is nothing straight about this hug. Just watch.
Cyrus, I hope you don't mind. We didn't get you a trophy.
Oh, I wasn't expecting one.
We got you this instead!
A Space Honors jersey? For me? Thank you, Jonah.
Thank you, Cyrus.
Yeah. That was amazing. and I cannot wait to see what other Jyrus moments season 2 brings us whenever the heck that comes out. September 22nd is the first day of fall, so that is the earliest we can expect it, but I'm guessing it's probably going to happen in early October. Honestly, it can never come fast enough. I need this in my life. Now, like I said, I definitely missed out on some moments, so if you want to leave your favorite Jyrus moments in the comments, be sure to do that, and I will look through them. And also, I want you guys to answer this question. If you don't ship Jyrus, would Jonah showing more interest in Cyrus help? Because I've seen a lot of people who say, you know, I get that Cyrus likes Jonah, that's very obvious, but I'm not really sure about Jonah. So, if you don't ship Jyrus, would Jonah showing interest in Cyrus help? If yes, I don't really need an explanation for that, then I understand that, but if not, then why don't you ship Jyrus? And I'm just really interested. Is it just because you ship Jandy, or are there other reasons that you just don't see them together? Anyways, I'm gonna see you guys later.